pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone to the April meeting of Jefferson County Local Development Corporation. First order of business, I'd open the floor for anyone that wants to talk to us, yell at us, congratulate us.
Congratulations.
Whatever problem.
We received the minutes from our last meeting. Is there any additions and or corrections?
No.
I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
So, I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Resolution carries. Thank you. Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
She didn't call in.
Oh, she didn't call in?
Wow.
I don't know where it is on your tablets. I
Same
have
page.
page 7 on mine, so it's the, start with the income statement for the 6-month period ending March 31st. With the local development corporation, you won't have too much change in the revenue. It's pretty much fixed. We get a little fluctuation with the grant income from the training program, but other than that, it's going to be about the same every month. And you can see we're 6 months into the year and we're just about half of what we budgeted for revenue. Same with salaries. Salaries will run the same month after month. Very little change there. Benefits the same way. Looking over the expenses, nothing unusual, just the normal things. We have income from the microgrid year to date of $49,060, and you'll see it's offset down by a year-to-date expense item. So for the year to date, we're $504,000 in income or expenses, $597,000 in revenue. So we're showing a $92,000 profit. Questions or comments?
The, under expenses, the benefits, they seem to be lagging at the 50%. Will that catch up and sort of hit budget at some point?
No, probably not.
Okay, so that'll probably be under
We
allocated.
have to estimate increases in items like health insurance at the beginning of the year. And fortunately, they're coming in lower.
That is
So,
fortunate.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Yeah, we probably will not hit. Now, there's also an item in the benefits for the year-end profit sharing that won't happen until year-end. So we'll be closer, but we'll
Okay.
still be below that number.
I guess the same question under operations, the marketing programs, they probably just haven't been fully expended and it's expected to
it's a
spend
timing
out,
thing,
so
yeah.
it's expended to spend out what was budgeted at some point?
We will exceed what we budgeted, I
Okay.
think, because we have a pretty heavy allocation of overhead to the marketing program. See, almost every one of the 7 employees are involved in the marketing program, so we allocate overhead to that program.
So we'll go over the budget you
Yes.
just said?
That's subsidized by the county at $270,000, and we always exceed that. Same with the ag program, I point out.
Rob, we had anticipated that Marshall Weir would give us a much larger updated marketing activity report this session.
Okay.
Fortunately, he's been in the hospital, so we're gonna ask Jay to bring us up to speed on some of the stuff going on relative to ag. That'll at least help identify how this money's being spent.
We're also, that Euro market program that we're working on is just getting underway, so we're gonna be, the next 6 months will be a big chunk of that.
I fully understand spending money to make money is a good thing, as long
Marshall
as
back
it's
in the hospital?
spent the right way.
He was back, I think he's back out today, but he did go back in this week.
Wow, that's not good.
No, unfortunately, he's a herding turkey, as they say.
Any other questions or comments?
No, sir.
The detail of the ag program is on page 8. This is once again timing on a lot of the expenditures. Marketing program is on page 9, the detail of that. You can see the allocated overhead year-to-date is $122,000. And that's based upon percentage of time spent by the employees other than Marshall. He's 100%. Manufacturing is part of the marketing program. There is some detail there. That's primarily the safety training program that we have. Going to the balance sheet on page 11, you can see our cash position, a little under 2.4 million in unrestricted cash. We have the RLF program. We could lend a little more money there. We have $1.5 million outstanding. Total assets, $4.7 million. Unfortunately, liabilities and capital come out the same, so that makes accountants feel good. Our current liabilities are nothing unusual. We have some deferred income in there for marketing, ag, and the microgrid program. And as we expend those monies, we will draw that down. And we have a pretty healthy fund balance of $4.5 million. Going through the supporting schedules, nothing unusual, accounts receivable, no bad debts that we're facing. The LDC, we've written off the Laurel debt, we're in pretty good shape there. Shows you our cash receipts, payables, all current. We give you the check register on the next few pages, shows you where we spent the money. On page 17, right in the middle of the page, you'll see a number of entries for the employees of $42.81 roughly, 26 in some cases. That's a catch up on the unemployment insurance from January 1. Rates come in late and they have to be adjusted. I can't make it any more exciting than that. Anyone have anything?
Any questions for Lyle?
No, sir.
I entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Lyle. Well, I sure hope Marshall makes out okay.
Yeah, he's had a battle.
Yeah, it's tough. So in lieu of Marshall, I guess we get to pick the date today. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Peggy, a little quicker. It's okay, I'll work from this end, but we'll be focusing on the website here in a second. For those that I have not had the opportunity to meet previously, I'm Jay Madison. I'm the agricultural coordinator for our agency. I've been doing this work since December 11th of 2000. I think the only person that's worked in this agency longer than I have is Peggy. Prior to being the agricultural coordinator for the county, I served as the director for the Jefferson County Soil and Water Conservation District for approximately 6 years. So I've been doing agriculture here in the county for quite a while. They haven't gotten rid of me yet. That's always a good thing.
We're working on it, aren't we?
So first thing I'd like to talk about, and I actually will come up here if you don't mind. I apologize for. First thing I'd like to talk about is our website. We've had the comefarmwithus.com website since 2002. This website at first was designed to attract new farms to Jefferson County. At that time, especially the northern part of Jefferson County, there was quite a bit of farmland available for new operations. So at that time, we were using the website as a huge marketing piece in our effort to attract new farms. We were very successful with that program here in Jefferson County. We attracted over 20 new farm operations into the county. What's changed is over time, the demand for land in agriculture grew exponentially. And now, here in Jefferson County, land, good agricultural land, is a hot commodity. the farms are, any land that's available, any good agricultural land that's available, if they can put their hands on it, they are. Farm prices recently have gone as high as $6,000 an acre, which that's very high for our area. So we've backed off on the farm recruitment side of things because we don't want to compete with our existing businesses. We'll still bring in a new farm if there's one out there looking for land, we'll still help them. We're just not actively going out and recruiting farms the way we did across the northeastern and midwestern United States. So that brings up our website. We needed to refocus and rededicate that website. And with our new international marketing initiative, we felt that it would be important to make it more business friendly as well as farm friendly. And so as it flashes across the screen, you'll see that there's 3 main sections that we built into the website. This one is the for farmer side. Then we've got 4 businesses and then 4 consumers. And I'm just gonna hit the, as soon as I find the cursor here, the 4 farmer side. And some of the information I'm still, we're working with the webmaster, which is Quality Productions, subsidiary of WPBS. I just sent them 20 pages of information last night that they're gonna be plugging in. The for farmer side is going to provide a lot of information that farmers need here in Jefferson County. This is still in case somebody's looking to locate Jefferson County, we still have that section. But then there's going to be program information on workforce development, farmland protection, which is always a big issue here in the county. Resources, they haven't added the other tabs that I've asked them to yet, but grant programs, information on where to go, a listing of all the ag agencies with contacts and so on. So it provides a nice setting for farms to go to if they're looking for information. We've always tried to make the website the county's agricultural website, the #1 place to go. I believe these changes are going to make it even more so that key resource to start at, and then branch out to the other agencies and other places for information. And as I'm going through this, don't hesitate to ask questions.
Jay, one question. Do you
Yes,
have any tabs to go like environmental?
I was thinking about that this morning, actually. I don't, but we will, because of the whole environmental issue. We will have tabs. They might refer over to Soil and Water's website or to DEC, but we will have environmental information on there for our farms, because that was one thing I hadn't thought about. I appreciate you bringing it up. That confirms that it's a good idea. I thought about that on the way here this morning. With the consumer side of things, again, I just sent a ton of information to them. What we're going to have here is information on where to go to find local foods, especially, and I'll show you in a second, they haven't put the link on this page yet, but we have an interactive map that people can go on. They can plug in, okay, here's my address, I'm looking for local beef, and I want to find it within 50 miles of my home. There's a map that I'll show you in a second where, bang, every farm that we know of that has local beef available pops up on a map, and they can click on it and go there. We're also going to have farmers markets listings up here. We're going to link over to Cooperative Extension's a website, some of the pages they have for local foods. And there's going to be statistical information up here on just what is agriculture in Jefferson County. The County Farmland Protection Plan, they have that up on the county website, and that has a really nice section on all of the statistics about agriculture. So we're going to have that, links to that on our page.
Jay, one question, and I know this is Jefferson County's site, but is there any sort of sharing between St. Lawrence and Lewis where there's some potential links? Because, I mean, we're kind commonly bonded, although we're different counties.
No, absolutely.
We could put those links up there. In the past, when we were doing the regional Come Farm With Us program, we actually, free to the other counties, provided a regional website that linked out. When the other counties ended their Come Farm With Us program, they weren't maintaining their information, so I took those
Okay.
away. If you feel that we should, I can certainly put links up there to other county websites.
Well, certainly primary is Jefferson County taxpayers are paying for it, but, you know, if you're marketing 1,000 farms and all of a sudden it goes to 3,000 farms because you drag in 2 more counties, people from looking from outside here say, wow, this is a hugely agrarian society, and
Yeah.
it shows it to be quite larger, especially you're trying to market to
Absolutely.
European markets and Canadian markets.
Absolutely.
Mine's all power and numbers.
Yeah.
We are,
that's a-
with the European firm, we are getting them, they've got
The more
regional
macro.
numbers. Yeah, you know, so they've got,
Yeah.
so they've got.
This
that
is
market.
kind of just another
Yeah,
resource
yeah, yeah.
that if it doesn't take away from
Right.
bringing business to Jefferson County, which is certainly the
Right.
primary
Yeah, I'm
aspect.
always sensitive to that.
I
Sometimes I
realize.
get in trouble for that, but.
Sometimes competition's good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, I will revisit and look for those ways to provide that regional information. That's a very good point. John, what do you?
Yeah, I've got a question on this for consumers, Jay. Should we have a tab like Hot Topics or whatever you wanna call it, that we can use as a tool to, or maybe you've got it in there?
Well, I used to have that, but the problem was trying to maintain that when it's basically just me. I'm not the webmaster, so I have to take information, feed it to the webmaster, and then they've got to post it up. And what I was running into is trying to post it on the website was fairly slow. So what we started doing, and this seems, I've had good feedback. We have this up on the old website right now, is both my Twitter feed and my Facebook feed. It shows up on the website. So even if you're not on Facebook, you can still get the information I'm posting to our Facebook page right here. Like, for example, yesterday, Ron and Nancy Robbins were recognized right there. They were recognized as Dairy Farm of the Year or something like that by Dairy Farmers of America. So that information is, the minute I post to Facebook, which I do off of my smartphone, bam, it's right up there on the front page of the website. So I mean, if you feel that we should have a Hot Topics section, I'll put it there.
Well, I'm just trying to respond to farm, act,
Yeah.
dehorning, all the whole nine,
Yeah.
tail docking, all that stuff that, gets blown out of,
All
or
the fun
gets
stuff.
altered in the way it's,
It's a good point, John.
Yeah.
We need to be topical wherever we can.
Jay, what's the name of the group that,
Neighbors for Responsible Farming.
no, the one that's, promoting sort of the the one that's sort of counter to the PETA type,
Well, are you talking about the risk management team for the state?
yeah, isn't there a group that's, Julie Berry was part of for a bit, and I can't remember the name of the group. but-
Oh, New York Animal Ag Coalition.
Yes, I mean, maybe a link to them, cause they're kind of on top of those topics on a regular basis, right? Or
They
not?
are, but I'd wanna look at their website first,
Yeah.
because I don't know if they use their website
Oh,
as
okay,
well
okay.
as what I think we're talking
Okay,
about.
all right.
We also have to be careful about endorsing positions without having an opportunity for this group to determine that the position that happens to be espoused by these people is the one you guys want to take. There is a little,
Let me evaluate that further, if you will. And the reason I say that is, if we're gonna put something on the website, the one thing I don't want it to become is a static piece of information that, 5 months ago, we talked about some issue, and that's still there on that page. That would be my only concern, is to make sure that it's easier, because in all honesty, for me, I'm trying to make this so that the information that's there is going to be good, valuable information, but not farmer's job, updating the website, because my time gets very restricted as far as being able to and check everything the way you'd like to. So let me evaluate how best to do that, and then I can come back next month and share that with you.
Under the same suggestion John made about the environmental tab or hot topics, there does seem to be a lot of misinformation or not complete information about manure spreading and manure storage. Our communities have to sort of deal with that. It's not a bad thing, but they have to understand how to deal with it, and it's not seeker, it's not sort of regulated by zoning, just maybe some information that Ag and Markets puts out there, which is kind of hot topics, but more topical with regards to how farms fit within comprehensive plans of communities and zoning and planning and so on and so forth. Maybe that's kind of on there already.
Well, the environmental stuff isn't, because I haven't really thought about the environmental side until this morning on the way in. It is on the Facebook page. There's an excellent video that talks about do manure storage structures leak. Excellent video. That went up on Facebook immediately. You could find it here. That is a link that I should have on the website itself, and hadn't thought about that.
Because I've actually had to do research on it. I'm on our zoning board in Henderson, and Canada has a tremendous amount of resources about how to build proper manure storage and the limited amount of risk with them and so on and so forth. And it does seem to be, at least in a couple communities, all of a sudden a hot topic, and for possibly no reason.
The other thing I'd offer is that anytime if you have questions and you're not finding the answers, please call me.
Okay.
Because back in my soil and water days, I helped design those and have a lot of experience with manure storage structures. So I definitely would help you connect with anybody you need.
But I think if people looked at this as where to go to for information about how farming fits in with the comprehensive plans of the communities within Jefferson County, this should probably be the go-to place to find it.
You're absolutely right.
That's the question I had. How are we marketing? How are we getting people here? You know, what's our hits? How are we getting people here?
Right. I have not put the analytics in place on the new site yet, but we will have Google Analytics. I think Marshall's talked to you about that on our main agency website. We'll have that information so we can track how we're doing. I haven't talked to Marshall and the boss yet, but I'd like to evaluate whether we put the website and advertisements on Channel 7 in the Watertown Daily Times, put up a billboard. I've never been able to do that in the past when I was operating on my own. But now, since we're redesigning the website as part where I'm fully integrated back into the agency, there's more resources available for me to do what we should do as far as getting this information out to the public. Because it doesn't do you any good to have a website if nobody knows it's there. And I do what I can through my normal networks, but that doesn't reach out to the community the way we really need to do this. So, you know, again, last night and this morning, I was thinking about, okay, how do we get this out there? Is it a billboard on 81, which is very expensive, but boy, you're gonna get some attention with it. Or do we put ads in the Watertown Daily Times and on Channel 7, to hit the public as hard as we can?
Dave,
So
this,
once this goes live, we'll have a direct link from our page, from our regular main page
Yeah,
as
but
well.
even our, how do we get the masses? How do we really reach out and let people know that this is here, this is and I don't know, maybe my daughter could, I know that Marshall's reached out to her. She's got, her website gets over 1 million hits a month on it, so she knows how to.
That's great.
Dave, I'd make the observation too that Jane's activities is really part of the broader discussion about how we diversify the economy in Jefferson County. And I think you will see, and part of the reason Jay is here this morning is to tell you that we are placing more and more emphasis on the ag potential for the county. That's where one of our sweet spots are. And so how we reach further into the community to market these things is part of the general discussion we're having. And part of what Marshall was going to do was kind of fit Jay's piece within the broader marketing spectrum we were going to be talking about. And then hopefully that fits in the very broad section about where we think we can grow this community, so. And a good point, they need to know that.
One other kind of question.
Sure.
I mean, there's many companies within Jefferson County that are either within the supply chain or take product from farms and make product. And possibly there's a way to recognize them without endorsing and have their websites come back here for informational purposes, because it is all part of the general farming community as well.
Yeah, I've, very, trying to figure out where I had, what we're doing is, we're calling it Ag Social Media right now. I don't know if that's the appropriate page for what you're talking about. But we're trying to, any business that has a website, agricultural business or farm, that has a website or a Facebook page or even a Twitter feed, we're putting those links up on this website.
Okay.
Number one, for public relations purposes, but also to help them with their traffic, so that people have another way of finding out they're out there. So you're talking though more about a directory of.
In a way, and again, I respect what Don said, that it's not a way that Jefferson County is endorsing, these are the only companies to deal with, but if, let's say there's a grain supply, equipment supply, or processing of dairy into other products, those are part of the total supply chain of the farming community. And in recognizing those companies, I guess you'd have to speak with those companies to say, we'd like you to point back to our webpage as well. It's another way to increase traffic indirectly by, if somebody's scrolling through equipment company X and they come down and, oh, there's, come farm with us, what's this? And it's the informational resource. It tends to drive people. Again, it might not increase traffic tremendously, but it's probably not gonna decrease it.
But, even if they're not linking back to us, our job, like all of you were saying, is to help the public, help the industry be aware of what's out there. So even if they're not reciprocating, we're still doing our job, which is the most important thing. I want to say thank you very much. It's been fantastic information, feedback on the website. You try and think of everything, but it's always good to have a brain trust to go back to. So thank you, it's very appreciated. Let me just show you the map real quick. Are you trying to cut me off, Dave?
I thought you were wrapping up.
No.
No, that was the preface. You were saying thank you for the preface.
Appreciate your comments.
We've been working together a lot. No. This is the interactive map. So you could enter your address right here. You could select out any category. Let's say you want to do beef, and forget it. You want to do beef, and you could put in your address and then say 50 miles. All of those pins will feed down to just farms that have told us that they have local beef available. And as you saw, there's a variety. I mean, apple cider, a lot of different things on there. So this to me is a huge consumer piece. We'll also have links to the printed local food guide that Cooperative Extension, we work hand in hand. We actually contribute to the local food guide. We financially support that. So we'll have links over to that publication on Cooperative Extension's website, so that there's information out there to help people get what they're looking for.
This would be good for a smartphone app.
Yeah.
Because
That's the next thing I want to explore.
visitors coming into the area, they can pull this up and find it.
Yeah, that's the next thing I want to explore. Lewis County just did it for their maple industry, and it works great. So I'm talking to them about, okay, how'd you do it, and how do we make it happen here? I don't know how expensive that is, but we'll be working on that next. So that's it on the website. Before Dave pulls back up to the table there.
Too late.
Jay, when you bring the mouse when you come back, please.
Bring the mouse, okay. Do you have any more time for me, or am I done?
We're our second meeting, so.
Okay.
You got a couple minutes.
Don told me that I had all Marshall's time. So.
Well, Marshall was done talking about 3 minutes ago.
Marshall's a lot faster than I am. Okay. Just wanted to, while I had the opportunity, give you a quick overview of some of the other efforts that we've been working on. Meat processing was a hot topic in 2015. It will be a hot topic in 2016. We have a site. It's not anything that Mike Lundy's ready to identify yet, but we do have a site that we're evaluating. We have to redo the feasibility study because we're looking at a new site. So it's exciting. It's still moving forward. No guarantees whether we'll ever actually break ground, but we're working in that direction. Working with another farm on a rail project. We've got a farm that's interested in growing the area's ability to bring in commodity products for farms. So we're working with that farm on that. Jefferson Community College is still pursuing a vision of how they want to grow their support for agriculture. We started working with them on this last year. They put in a grant application. The grant, unfortunately, has taken a long time. They're still not sure if they're going to get it. So what we're doing right now is talking with JCC about, okay, what are some other funding opportunities to support this vision they have for growing their programming for agriculture. So it's exciting to see something like that happening, that a community college wants to go all in, if you will, on agriculture. So that's pretty exciting. I'm going to be going this afternoon. Old McDonald's Farm is now taking a look at how they can develop a STEM education center, STEM being science, technology, engineering, and math. They want to develop a STEM education center at Old McDonald's Farm to assist our middle schools and high schools here in the county with using agriculture as a way to learn about science, technology, engineering, and math. So that's exciting, and it also fits into workforce development. We just had our luncheon. I appreciate the board members that were able to make it. We had our luncheon on Friday and workshops. The workshops went over fantastic, better than I expected. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on those. Our luncheon went well. Our keynote speaker, Jessica Zim, I thought did really well. I was a little disappointed we didn't get everybody that had registered. We had 110 people registered, and I think we had 90 show up. So I was a little disappointed with that, but it is what it is. And I'll end with this fall, WPBS will be airing a new series called Countryside with Jay Madison. It's a agriculture and rural living series. It's a short format. It'll be 5 to 10 minute videos that we're now filming, and that will be available on their website and on their air. And they will feature agricultural issues as well as rural living type topics. So the first one we just filmed was on the maple industry, and we're going to hit a variety of other topics. Now that is something that I'm taking time off. The boss is allowing me to use my vacation time to film those. So I'm excited to see it. It's another way of outreaching about agriculture to the community. I think it's also an economic development tool because we can point to those. They're going to focus on the North Country and Central New York. So it's another way of promoting our industry and saying, look at this jewel that we have up here. You should come do business with us. So just wanted to let you know that we're in the process of developing those. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Dave and Jay, were you invited to Canton next week to meet with the Germany Ministry of Business?
No, I gave them some names, I suppose.
Okay, but you know about
Yeah, I
it.
know about it,
Okay.
I was on the list, I think, but I haven't seen anything on it yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
because they sent out invites the other day,
Okay. I haven't seen it.
so if you haven't seen that, I can share with you
Sure,
the
that'd be great,
details.
yeah,
You should have got an email from Canton yesterday.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Unfinished business. Nothing? New business? Counselor, do you have anything for
I have
us?
nothing today.
Beautiful. Does anyone at the board have anything they'd like to mull over?
Can I just offer a couple comments?
You just said nothing.
Well, it's neat, it's really not business, unfinished, or whatever. First of all, I want to let you know that was it yesterday, I lose track of time, yesterday or the day before, we christened the new Purcell Business Park. They got their shovel-ready status, and we were pleased to be able to go over and say a couple of remarks, and that is such a welcome addition to the inventory of economic development tools that we have to work with. It's a perfect example of how public and private sector can come together and develop something of importance. And Mark and his crew are to be saluted for that. I would point out to you that the minimum wage issue has been resolved. You took a stand on that. I hope that that stand had some influence. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a heck of a lot better solution than could have developed. If we had gone to the proposed $15 minimum wage increase sooner, we would have seen, in my opinion, a very significant impact. Fortunately, that did not develop, so congratulations. A note that at noon today, we are going to host the Watertown Trust Board meeting, of which, Dave and I participate on a regular basis. Today's discussion, if you're interested, is a consultant will be coming in to talk about how to develop downtown Watertown. And we think that will be a very interesting activity. Next Tuesday, I'm going to speak to the real estate folks because they have some questions about activities that we do, pilots for housing, that kind of stuff, where we stand on it as a board and those kinds of things. Good to know. Microgrid status, we're moving very, very quickly on the status here in Jefferson County, the Jefferson County Business Park. We're at phase 5 now, which is the last of the first. And we hope that NYSERDA will look favorably on the activities that we've been doing. I think we're far in front of the lead around the state, and we're hoping that they will see fit to help us fund the next phase of all this. We'll know somewhat shortly. We have several projects in the pipeline which we're not yet at a position where we can talk about them in a board level because we don't have enough information for you, but there's a lot of stuff bubbling below the surface. And last comment I would make is to say bon voyage to Mr. Booker, who is going to be leaving us. He said he can't put up with Alexander anymore, so he's leaving town. So Ted, we wish you good luck in the future activities for you. Wish you well.
Appreciate it. Yeah. You're headed out west?
South Bend Tribune in northern Indiana.
Notre Dame country.
Yep.
He's still gonna wear Syracuse.
Yeah, he might get shot. Pretty much guaranteed.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Very good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Stand adjourned.